Oh. Helge? Holy shit.
Ich erinnere mich. Ich erinnere mich an alles.
About time. Give it to me. Tell me he's not gonna tell us everything, is he? He remembers everything, but he's not gonna tell us everything. So, when was that? 1953? Obviously, right? 2019, 1986, 1953. The three timelines. So now the question is, if he was there, how did he escape? Crossroads. Crossroads of Destiny. Wow. He's looking at it. He's looking at it. Yeah, he's looking at the Emerald Stone tablet. Meanwhile, Jonas, having to find, obviously doesn't have a place to stay. Adventurers in the dark. Oh. Oh, wow. That's where he was staying? It's cool that he has... Obviously, he is holding that letter dear to his heart, right?
Ist es möglich, dass also jetzt rein theoretisch,
Hypothetical.
dass er schon länger tot ist und nach seinem Tod irgendwie konserviert wurde?
Ja, also dann müsste es Spuren im Gewebe geben, das hätte ich ja gesehen.
Yeah, he died recently, but of course time works differently. Oh wow, this is trippy for him. The same school, same setting, and yet he completely stands out. Regina, right?
Welcher Tag ist heute?
Bitte?
Welcher Tag ist heute?
And this is
Ich weiß, klingt bescheuert.
I wonder if they're gonna be interacting more, because this would tie in with, like, what we are experiencing in the present when the stranger goes into the, to Regina's hotel, right?
Ja,
And it seems like they know each other.
mein Freund. Michael Kahnwald.
Kenn ich nicht.
Yeah,
Ist Kahnwalds Sohn?
he's using a different name for now. I wonder if Ines knows about. Yeah, it is Regina, but I wonder if Ines knows about Jonas, like, since the very beginning. Oh, come on. Oh yes, classic, right? Having the information laid out on all of that, on like the floor, planning and everything. Yeah. Ulrich and Jonas trying to figure out the mystery.
Ich muss los. Wenn Ihnen dazu noch was einfällt, Sie haben ja meine Nummer.
Soll ich Ulrich schon Bescheid geben?
I mean, he would be happy, but at this point, I don't think Ulrich is. I do love that the way the show is cutting back and forth between, past and present, especially by using, like, the same setting on, like, where they want to go in the past or the present, and then just.
Zu dir wollte ich. An dem Abend, an dem der verschwunden ist, da hattest du Schicht, oder? sortieren und abgleichen.
Übermorgen.
Dienstag.
Was? 10:30 Uhr?
Passt.
He is being very specific about time.
Ist doch kein Problem.
No, yeah, the music is letting us know that Helge is planning something. These fucking transitions, man, I love it. I love it. The parallels, oh my god. It is also really fascinating, you know, for Ulrich to be using the papers and the information from the person that he probably hates the most to, you know, solve this lifelong case, right? The irony of it. Finishing what, you know, what Egon started. Great choice of having both the present and the past be in rain. That's Egon, isn't it? Egon. Yes, it is.
Ich hab was mit dem Arm. Ich bin gerade auf dem Weg zum Krankenhaus.
Steig ein.
Right. To get to Ines. Oh, this episode is really being, you know, frantic with its back and forth nature, but it is necessary at this point in the story, right? When you have like Jonas in the past. Huh. Interesting. Ulrich?
Wusstest du, dass dein Schwiegervater 1986 im Fall meines Bruders eine Zeugenaussage machen sollte?
Nein?
Was to be interviewed, but he never did.
Warum nicht Waldweg?
Und jetzt denkst du, Helge hat 86 Mats entführt? Und 33 Jahre später Mikkel und die anderen Jungs.
It could tie to my theory of the Dopplers and
Er ist 75 Jahre alt, dement.
Oh, it doesn't have dementia anymore, dude.
Aber an dem Abend, bevor Jasin verschwunden ist, hat Wöller Helge im Wald gefunden.
Und ihn zurück ins Heim gebracht. Verrennst dich da in etwas?
Vielleicht.
Dude,
Vielleicht auch nicht.
Ulrich is solving the case. He's on the right track, that's for sure, though. Oh man. Right. Is this the same path that Jonas took in the past during the beginning of the episode when he was walking? It feels like it, right?
Zachary hat Winden verändert.
Oh, it has.
Was ist denn das da? Das sind doch keine Kopfhörer.
That's funny.
Steckt man sich so in die Ohren.
This is funny. Classic time travel story where you bring something from the future and of course the people in the past are having a hard time believing it.
Das ist eine Abkürzung.
Ah, okay. Okay, so that is the path. Okay. Everything is connected. It's all coming together now. Yeah, there's a lot of tracks there. A lot of cars came here. That's for sure. Oh, this is the place where, Claudia, was it? In the past? Yeah. The other entrance to the cave, right?
Ist da gerade Satanismus ein Ding?
Keine Ahnung.
Interesting.
Danke.
The fear of Satanism, while I guess at this point in time, right, Noah comes in. Charlotte's gonna find the stash. Is she? Like the stash of you know, the piles of uranium. Unless that's been moved. Yeah, it feels like that's where it used to be. Yeah, there's some residue. Some leftovers of the past. Yeah, the paint from the barrels, the... Man, this episode is flying by fast, though.
Suche Ines Kahnwald.
Die war vorhin draußen mit dem Jungen.
Was für ein Junge?
Was willst du denn von Ines?
Dude.
Seid ihr verwandt?
In a way.
Ja, kann man so sagen.
Yeah. But my... Dude, if Mikkel sees Jonas right now, like at first I felt like Mikkel and Jonas would never meet. There's a door. But that was like, you know, like something that I've thought of. That's the door, isn't it? The door to the torture room. The title of the episode makes sense now. Crossroads. Like, there's so many crossroads going on in this episode. I love it.
Mein Name ist Ulrich Nielsen. Ich bin Polizist. Keine Angst, ich will Ihnen nur ein paar Fragen stellen. 1986 ist im Wind ein Junge verschwunden.
Oh no. He's gonna have a heart attack.
Das ändern. Ich kann die Vergangenheit ändern. Und die Zukunft. Was hast du gesagt? Was hast du gesagt?
Past and future.
Ich kann die Vergangenheit ändern.
You can change the past and the future. And he also wants to stop Noah.
Guck mal, ich hab doch noch einen gefunden.
There's Ines. There's Mikkel.
Wie wenig wir doch von der Welt verstehen.
What is happening?
Manchmal fällt es uns schwer, Dinge zu begreifen, die gegen alles sprechen, so unser Verstand konditioniert wurde. Wie müssen die Menschen sich gefühlt haben, als man ihnen zum ersten Mal sagte, die Erde sei eine Kugel?
Yeah, they don't believe it.
Das bedeutet, dass Ulrich mein Großvater ist und...
Yep.
Martha, deine Tante.
Yeah, crazy.
Ich bring Mikkel jetzt wieder zurück und bring alles wieder in Ordnung.
No.
Wenn du Mikkel jetzt zurückbringst, dann greifst du in den Lauf der Dinge ein.
Yeah.
Dein Vater lernt deine Mutter nicht kennen. Sie verlieben sich nicht. Sie heiraten nicht. Und
And you won't get it, and you won't exist.
deine Rolle in all dem hier ist viel größer, als du denkst.
Much bigger.
Aber jede Entscheidung für etwas ist auch immer eine Entscheidung gegen etwas.
Interesting. Every decision for something is a decision against something else. True. Oh. It's... So they still haven't made contact yet.
Aber der Zweck rechtfertigt nicht alle Mittel. Wie soll er das körperlich schaffen?
Vielleicht ist er nicht allein.
He has enablers. Oh, this music. There's the radar bar. So, are they implying that the radar bars that they found in the present in 2019 are those that belong to Helge?
Wir beide haben das gewollt. Er hat mich nicht gezwungen.
Und dein Gesicht? Was ist damit passiert?
Da bin ich hingefallen. Das hat nichts damit zu tun.
Jemand hat euch gesehen.
Er würde mir niemals wehtun. Das würde er niemals tun. Niemals.
And yet he's hurting her so much in the present.
Seit ich dich kenne, wolltest du raus aus Winden. Bist du eigentlich jemals glücklich gewesen?
Was redest du denn da? Natürlich bin ich glücklich gewesen. Du etwa nicht?
Ich weiß es, Ulrich.
Great acting from both of them in this scene. Especially her. The subtleties.
Deine Mutter hat vorhin angerufen. Unser Sohn ist verschwunden und sie redet die ganze Zeit nur über Mats. Und ich dachte immer, die Arschlöcher kommen aus meiner Familie.
The broken leg, yeah. You can't change the past. I am loving this so much. He's choosing not to.
Dein Vater wollte das Grab. Er dachte, das würde mir helfen, abzuschließen. Aber darin liegt kein Körper.
Of course, Tronte would want the grave.
Seit 33 Jahren stelle ich mir vor, dass er lebt.
Because he knows, right?
Da draußen ist genauso viel Licht wie Dunkelheit.
Great line.
Da habe ich etwas beobachtet.
Okay.
Vor dem Haus gegenüber hat sich ein Pfarrer mit einem Mann gestritten, ich weiß nicht über was.
Noah and Helge?
Eigenartig, dass sich ein Pfarrer so streitet.
It's Noah and Helge, isn't it?
Es war derselbe Mann. Ich weiß das, weil er etwas am Ohr hatte. Das war vernarrt.
Yes, it is.
Aber er war nicht einen Tag älter. Er sah genauso aus wie vor 33 Jahren. Ich weiß, das klingt verrückt.
He looks the same. Now, why did he go into the bunker that day? I mean, we know Peter and Tronte. We know Peter and Tronte went to the bunker because Jonas was going into the cave. So why did Helge went to the bunker that day as well? Questions. Lots of questions. Going back into the cabin. We still don't know what is inside that cabin. And we have not explored the bunker enough. Gonna ask Peter where he is?
Charlotte?
Wusstest du, dass dein Vater 86 bei der Polizei vorgeladen war?
Oh, okay.
Warum hat Helge die überhaupt behalten nach allem, was ihm da passiert ist?
Okay, so that's Helge's place. Used to be.
Das war nach Helges Unfall.
Wann war der genau?
Wo bist du gerade?
Wann war der Unfall?
12. November 1986.
Also heute in 3 Tagen.
Komm nach Hause.
What accident?
Mit und angesehen. Die machen sich Sorgen. Nicht mehr rum.
Geht nicht los.
Charlotte?
Dopplers, man. They are definitely the ones that, you know, carry the most secret, and the ones that know more about the cave than any other character, you know, any other family. Apart from maybe Tronte as well. Back into the bunker. Alright, nothing seems out of place. Oh, Helge, okay. So that was why Helge went to the bunker. Because Jonas is going back. Mikkel took the photo. Jonas burning the letter symbolizes that he could not change the past, right? Oh my god. He still has the book. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Coin. Yeah, we know that he survived, right, from that room. And while I don't remember much about the motif of the room, was the piece of paper that Charlotte was holding like the same wallpaper that was used for, you know, the torture room, or was it different? I gotta go back to the beginning of the episode to check again. He's going into the cave. It almost feels like he's not really in control of his body. It's like he's being controlled. You know what I mean? Like he just wakes up and then goes. Wait. Whose body is that? Okay. So it wasn't Peter, it's Noah. The one with the one with the tattoo. 1953. Gonna write 1986. Still 53. My mind is fucked. Alright, let me just immediately go back to the very, very, very beginning. So this is obviously Helge. Helge. So somehow he winds up here, right? Yep, same poster, so which means, hang on, let me get a better view of this room. Yep. Which means the bunker is the room where they are currently living. You can kind of see like there's some food and milk there as well. Yeah. So this is the same room where Charlotte was, where Peter and Tronte was, and the place where Noah was kind of washing away some of the blood that appeared, which I guess this also means that what happened to whoever it is that is here, that is in this contraption, this chair, once they get like zapped and their eyes got burned, I guess that implies that they immediately got traveled back in time during that exact moment, and then they just appeared in a different time in this exact same bunker, and that is exactly what we saw at the end of the episode, right? This young boy who that's Yazin, isn't it? I mean, I can't think of any other character, and Yazin is the only other character that we do know from the past, from the present, that got roped into all of this. So Yazin was, but that still begs the question of when exactly. When I mean I guess it is in the 1980s, right? Because of all of the, obviously the television, obviously the demonstration from the scientists about black holes and stuff, when we saw Eric back in like episode 1 or 2. Episode 1, right? We saw that in the TV. So this is probably in the 1980s. So yeah, this is probably 1986. But if this is 1986, and let's assume that this got weathered down and became, the bunker that we know today, then fuck, my brain is hurting. Yeah, it's getting to me now. It's getting to me now. It's getting to me. Because let's say that the room in the very beginning is from 1986, where everything is fine and dandy, because I don't think it's from 1953, because I don't think the technology would have reached this far. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be 1953 because the scientists and all, you know, it can't be. It's the only explanation would be it's either this place is either in 1986 or this place is outside of the realm of time, and it's like in this limbo area. But I don't think that is the case. I think this is 1986, which means that in this specific moment where Helge in 1986 is going down is him going into this room that is pristine and Yazin is there. So when is this? Because it's not 2019, because in 2019 it's way more weathered. So I guess this is 1953 then. Because Noah wrote the dates, right? And in all timelines, we are on November 9th, right? Jonas was in November 9th of 1986. It is November 9th in 2019. And I guess it's November 9th in 1953. But why are they in 1953? Why? How did I'm oh. All right, I'm gonna take a bit of a break and then I'm gonna actually discuss the episode. But oh, that was ooh. Oh boy, here we go. Now we're starting dark. Oh boy. Okay, obviously there is a lot to talk about. I mean, first of all, once again, you know, like the episode is great, direction is great, the editing transitions are always great, the music's great, everything is great, the acting is great, everything about this episode is great. I guess the one thing that I will say to stand out for this episode as compared to all of the previous episodes is the pacing. I do find that the pacing for this episode is more tightly written. It's more like, you know, you feel, at least for me, I feel like it's a bit more faster paced, but it's still the same length, right? About 50-ish minutes long. But I guess it's, again, it is because of how this episode is handled, the way it was edited and the way we cut from, you know, past and future, right? It makes the flow of the narrative really, really smooth. But because we are doing it a lot, it makes it feel like we're going, you know, we're going faster than we are, right? Because previous episodes, we either stay in the timeline for at least more than half an episode, but here we're going like cutting back and forth between 1986, 2019, 1986, 2019, and as mentioned in the reaction, at this point it's kind of, you know, it's kind of an obvious praise, and that is every time Dark manages to transition between timelines and the shots that they use as the transitional point and what is happening in context of those scenes is just brilliant. Like it is brilliant. Like there's this, you know, like I think one thing that kind of stand out to me the most was when we cut from Egon and Helge, and when they were talking in, you know, in the front of the power plant, right? In the gate, right? In the gate of the power plant, and then of course we zoom in on the book that Egon was writing, and then we cut to the future with Ulrich and his continuing investigation, right, using that same notebook that Egon once had, kind of an ironic fate that the person that he hates the most is now sort of helping his his future self, right, to solve this case. He is using the same notes and the same investigative reports that Egon used to have in the past, right? It's fate. I enjoyed that. But after that scene, we immediately cut to the scene with I should actually be showing this on screen. Hang on, give me a sec. So as I said, we went from the conversation between Helge and Egon, and then we cut from his book to the same book, just in the future. And then after that, we then cut again to the factory, the power plant, same place, different timeline. Still in the gate. Same context. Wanting to get in, wanting to know like what is going on inside of the power plant and what is going on surrounding the power plant, and wanting to search for, more clues and ideas. Raining, right? Raining. And then cuts to Jonas in the past, but it's still raining, so it just makes the flow of the story just better. I love it. Like Jonas being in let's say the scene is not in the rain. Sure, it can work, obviously, but it doesn't have that same effect of like the connectivity between past and present, right? It's the fact that they are adding the rain. It makes the whole thing more connected because of how similar it is. It's genius. I love it. Oh man, this show is great. But yeah, it's like one of those things that not a lot of people may appreciate editing and stuff, but like when you notice it, you will notice it, right? Like it's editing is the key of making your story flow well. Like you may wrote the script and it may flow well from a written point of view, but at the end of the day, it is the editor's job to basically stitch them all together, and if they do a pretty bad job at it, then that once beautifully written script can be terrible and be bad. So hey, the props to the editors of like Dark and whoever decided to cut the scenes, and who's like responsible for telling what scene goes from here and there. It's probably Baran Bodar, the director, right, who's telling them where the things lie and all. But like again, like it's just a joint staff. Praise be the staff of Dark. I'm just gushing over this. Ever since the previous episode, I feel like I'm finally in like the main crux of Dark. I feel like, again, like I said, like the previous 5 episodes feels like like the really long setup, like the first act of the show, of the story, right? Where once again we are like I said, we are establishing the characters, establishing the themes, establishing like the rules of the game and the mysteries that will be answered in future episodes. And especially once Jonas finally ventures into the cave and then goes back in time, what we as an audience kind of want from the very beginning, right, is like, okay, when is this gonna happen? When that finally happened in this episode, right, where we are exploring the timeline, where we are exploring the consequences of going back in time and realizing that you cannot change the past, but the past can change the future, right? I'm giddy. I am very giddy. I'm really excited. And this episode has been a wild ride for me. like there's so many things happening, and I'm like, okay, now it's getting overwhelming again. I feel like, again, I talked about this, but like the first episode of Dark, I felt overwhelmed at first because of, again, like you are immediately thrown into thrown into the dark. Forgive the pun. You are thrown into the dark. Can't speak. You are thrown into the dark, and you have no idea what is going on. You just immediately get, hey, here's like 10 or so characters. Learn their names. Have fun. And I'm like, okay, who is who? What is what? But now I'm getting, once I already learn about that, once I'm getting a grip of like the story, and once we kind of, pretty much got into an understanding of like what this story is trying to be, the themes of it, right? The character motivations, the supernatural element of it all. It does feel like the show runners at least know that once we have reached this point, then we have learned, or at least we know more than enough so that they can up the ante. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you finished the first 6 episodes. Great job. Now let's increase the mystery. Let's kick into overtime. Let's add some more questions, right? You already had some of your questions answered. So now let's do more. Let's add more questions. And I feel like it's gonna be, again, like a slow incline, right? We're slowly going upwards. And the more the story goes, the more crazy it's gonna get. But so far it is taking its time, and that's perfect for this type of show. You don't want to overwhelm your audience too much, and I feel like this is the best moment for the story to once again like kick in with the newer story elements at play, because now I'm like thinking, okay, so Helge, right? He was in the room. He got transported into the room, right? Young Helge 1953, from what the credits called him, right? In the credits, his name is Helge 1953, right? Which is the Helge that we saw in the beginning of the episode. So he was at the beginning, and we also know at this point, right, because it is revealed, right, that Helge is the other hooded figure, right? Now, my previous theory was that the other hooded figure is actually Noah. There's also the other theory that it's also probably Peter, right? Helge's son. But now it seems like it is actually Helge. And Helge and Noah are working together, right? So now I'm thinking of like, okay, Helge in the past, Helge 1953, probably ventured into the cave. He probably fell or whatever, and we still have no idea what happened, and what happened to his head, right, his face. But the episode, I think Peter mentioned something about the an accident that happened on the 12th of November, and we don't know what that is. We have no idea what that is. We have no idea what context that refers to, like what type of accident. Oh, I just clocked in. We don't know what the accident is, but it is most likely the accident that causes Helge's like current health problems, right? His dementia and his and the reason why he is where and who he is in the present right now, right? His current condition. That's probably what they are referring to. Okay. So what I'm getting at is Helge from 1953 probably went into the cave and then appeared in the bunker in 1986. But we know that era, that time of Helge 1986, is also the hooded figure along with Noah. So, and this brings back to my question in the beginning, and that is how the F did Helge survive and how did he escape? Is this another paradox where future Helge helps past Helge escape? Because at this point, again, like we kind of know it's probably either gonna be Helge and Noah. Well, I guess Noah can also be the one who saved Helge, and that's how their camaraderie happened. That's how they meet, and that's how they became friends, probably, right? But oh, yeah. Yeah, it's probably gonna be Noah who's the one who saved Helge. I feel like that's gonna be like the more logical answer, because if Helge is the one who saved Helge, then the paradox kind of, like it would not make sense. If Helge is the one who saved past Helge, then that would not make sense for me unless that is the case. Which, if it is, then I need the show to like really explore and fully explain that, because right now at the top of my head that does not make sense. From a paradox, if we're talking about like a time paradox, that doesn't make sense. How does that work? If it's Noah who saved Helge, that makes more sense. Also ties directly into how they meet, also why they are working together. Also, there's too many alsos, but I guess this also answers my question in episode 5, I believe, in regards to like Noah's physique, right? Because we've been, I ask like, whoa, Noah in the past and Noah in the future, he looks the same. Like, what is going on? Is he immortal or anything? But like, the most obvious answer is that he just time traveled. Like, that is the most obvious answer. Like, past me was smart on like some aspects of the show, but it's clear that past me also has like, isn't really thinking straight in that regard. I feel like that makes like, again, like the most perfect sense. Noah just simply traveled through the past, present, and future, and that's why he looks the same. Also why what was her name again? Jana Nielsen, Ulrich's mother, right? And how she mentions that she saw a priest and a man arguing outside, right? And the crazy part is she sees that the man who is scarred, Helge, looks the same 33 years ago. So again, that just means that Helge and Noah are traveling back and forth in time to, I guess, execute the bodies and remove them at the same time? And this just brings out more questions of like who they are, right? Why are they doing this? What is their goal? Why are they trying to do this, right? And it's clear that they kind of had a falling out, right? Because Helge is now trying to stop Noah. Obviously, Noah has different ideas or different ambitions in the future that may not necessarily align with Helge's ideology. But at this point, my current theory, of course, is that Noah is trying to change the timeline, right? And that is being enforced more in this episode when Helge is the one who said it, right? Helge said in this episode, I have the ability to change the past and the future, right? So, let's say change is actual change and not necessarily a action that was already predetermined by destiny that feeds into the time loop, right? Because that's just how the time loop works, right? You may think that you're doing this of your own free will, you think that you are choosing differently, but no, you will always choose this option. You will always choose this way. Jonas will always travel back in time and will choose not to approach Mikkel and Hannah because that is predetermined. That is the paradox. That is the time loop, right? But what if change that Helge is referring to is actual change, as in the time loop breaks? And what if Helge realizes that this is probably a bad idea, and Noah is trying to change that, and that's why they have a falling off, which begs the question, why does Noah want to change the timeline? Why, right? Again, if this is his goal, right? If this is his motivation, I'm practically asking myself this question, right? Because nobody's gonna answer me. Please don't answer me. That would be spoilers. But like, if Noah wants to change the timeline, and what does he know that we do not? What lies in the future that Noah and Helge probably knows, but Helge chose not to change it because it may probably, ruin everything, but Noah wants to change it because it probably has something to do with himself, right? That's like it's like the obvious answer, right? Something happened to your future self, you don't accept it, so you want it to change. But obviously, if you change that, then you're changing the flow of time, and that is going to ruin everything. And that is basically the theme of this episode currently, right? When we're dealing with Jonas and Mikkel and Hannah, right? Jonas has the power to change this. He knows what is going to happen in the future. He knows that Mikkel is going to become his father and he's going to commit suicide. And the thought of that is really sad, but at the same time, he knows that that is supposed to happen and it must happen in order for all of this to be exactly how it is. And so he chose not to. Oh man. As mentioned in my previous episode discussion, Noah is still currently the character that I am interested in the most. He is obviously not my favorite character. There's like a lot of candidates for that position. Right now it's between Jonas and Ulrich, because I feel like these two characters are the ones that are, keeping the plot forward, right? They're the ones who are moving the plot. They're the ones who are, taking the most actions, and they're the ones who are solving the mystery, right? But Noah is definitely the one that I'm interested in the most because of the mystery behind him, right? Noah, Jonas and Ulrich may be trying to solve the mystery, but Noah is the mystery. We don't know what he is. And speaking of Noah, as we see in the end of the episode, once again, now we have full confirmation that the person with the tattoo is Noah. In a previous episode discussion, I thought that it could probably be Peter, but obviously it doesn't seem to be the case. I've always had my suspicions of Peter, of, like his connections to, his father's work and everything. But right now, I feel like while Peter is being very suspicious, he's being very sus, and I've always been seeing him in a bad light because of this, right? Now, knowing who's actually responsible and knowing that it's not, the son taking over the father, it's just the father is just doing the same thing for 3 generations because he's able to travel back and forth in time. This is kind of making me, it's making me feel slightly more positive for Peter, as in, at first I'm seeing him as a, as a potential not antagonist, but a potential bad character, not a badly written character, but you know what I mean, right? Like a, like an evil character, or a character that knows, but evil is a strong word, but you know what I'm talking about, right? A character that is involved in all of this, and he may have something to do with, like, with the disappearance of Mads and Mikkel, right? The accusations are there, right? Charlotte has every right to accuse him because of, the amount of things that aligns well with the events of the show, and what Peter was doing is like, it's pretty easy to point the finger at him. But now it feels like it's more, straight up coincidences, and Peter is actually doing something else that may probably be, you know, to prevent whatever it is that is happening. Because Peter and Tronte was in the bunker, right, in 2019. Now, knowing that the bodies of, you know, the dead children will probably spawn there when they die, maybe, just maybe, Peter and Tronte goes to the bunker every now and again, looking at, you know, that ledger book, that, you know, the book with the notebook with all of the time being stamped and written on. Maybe they go into the bunker, hoping that in one of these dates there's going to be a body that appears. Wait, no. I feel like no, wait a minute. No. Wait. No, yeah. I mean, now that we know that Helge is the one who's dragging the bodies, then that discounts Tronte and Peter doing it. Yeah. So Peter and Tronte isn't necessarily involved in it, but they know something about it and they're trying to figure it out. So yeah, I guess they are just probably. Fuck, my brain. Oh no. Yeah, it's happening. It's I'm getting the mind fuck. Oh, it's happening. No. We know that Helge is the one who's dragging all the bodies. But if Helge is the one who's dragging all the bodies, then that doesn't make sense for the present, because if Peter and Tronte knows about this and they've been going inside of the bunker because of the notebook with the time and everything, then shouldn't they also be in the bunker almost every time these events happen? And if they are, then that means they were the ones who dragged Mikkel and not Mikkel, Mads in the present. I guess it is them. Because Helge was in the school, right? He was the one who went outside of his nursing home, went into school and warned everybody about it. The people who are not present is obviously Peter and Tronte, so I guess Peter and Tronte was the one who dragged the kids. But if they are the ones who dragged the kids, then I should be suspecting them, because that's like dead evidence. And this just goes against everything I just said like a couple of minutes ago, where I just said that, oh, Tronte and Peter, I don't think they're bad guys. I feel like they're good guys, but this doesn't make sense in the present when it's not Helge. No, wait, it is Helge. It's not Helge. It's not Helge 2019. It's Helge 1986 who's the one who's dragging him in 2019. But if Helge 1986 was the one who's dragging Eric's body in the forest in 2019, then did he meet, or did he saw Tronte and Peter as well? I'm just not gonna continue with that conversation because I just went into a different realm of of Noah. I wanted to talk about Noah. So Noah had the tattoo of the Emerald Stone. Sorry, I kept calling it the Emerald Stone. It's the Emerald Tablet. He has the etchings of the Emerald Tablet, which is written in Latin. Obviously, it has the triquetra at the end. Also, the phrase "Sigmundus Creatus Est." And we also see that same drawing in the hospital, and it is the same shot that we saw in episode 4 when we were given a glimpse of, like, you know, these montages in the very beginning of the episode, right, where we saw, you know, the bunker, and then we saw Noah's back, and then we saw the image of the Emerald Tablet once again, but that time it was, you know, a drawing on a wall, and sorry, not a drawing on a wall, but a drawing hang on a wall, and we saw that drawing in the hospital in this episode, and Mikkel is looking at it, and then he took it home. So why did he take it home? Why did he all of a sudden got an interest to it? And how does that connects to this? How does that connect to this? Like, it's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a coincidence that, you know, this young boy, this young character, right, just so happens to be looking at the drawing in the hospital and then decided, yeah, I want this. It just doesn't. So why does he have it? And if he does have it, then that immediately makes a connection to I am so lost. We've reached this point in the story where I'm starting to get lost. Well, not lost, but yeah, why does he have it though? What is... What is Mikkel's connection to Noah? More importantly, what is Noah's connection to Mikkel? Because again, this is no mere coincidence. Like, why is he attracted to this painting, this image? Because he doesn't know about this, right? He doesn't know about this image. I mean, Mikkel's a smart kid, don't get me wrong, like, he is a very smart kid. But would he know about this at all? Like the historical significance of this? See, you guys are laughing right now. You guys watching this discussion are laughing right now, going like, haha, this dude with his theories and trying to figure out, you know, the answers when it's all in plain sight, and we know because we've already watched the show. Ha ha ha, very funny. Fuck. You know what? That's gonna be the end of the discussion for this episode. I'm so overwhelmed. But I feel like I covered most of the main things that I want to say in this episode. I mean, just a lot of things that are happening in this episode, right? Of course, Ulrich and Katarina. Katarina knowing about Ulrich's past and what he's doing right now, right? Having an affair with her. Love that shot, by the way, of the camera just like zooming in, right? Of course, Hannah. Sorry, not Hannah, but Ulrich's mother, Jana, was it Jana Nielsen? She knows more than she lets on, right? Like she has witnessed a lot of things going on. Charlotte also trying to solve the mystery. And then of course Peter 2019 going outside of the nursing home, venturing into the cave, and we have no idea what he's doing there, right? Is it just to go back in time, or is there more than meets the eye? And of course Ulrich is following him. I love the show. Thank you all so much for watching. See you all next time for the next episode of Dark. Take care. Have a nice day. Peace.